That was not what I wanted to get rid of. Hello, welcome. Welcome to I call this once adventure. That's the name I've settled for, and no one complained about it. So about it seems to work fine. Fine. A series of one with the same crew, same characters.
Why aren't you overlay a blank space? I know, but you had an overlay for 4 people. But did you just have the blank space?
I had the blank space because it's open in case we get a guest star one week. To encourage the fact that we might get a guest star.
That's
Fine. You want me? Next time I'll do like the non-guest star one. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Quality.
It's to encourage guest stars. Encourage them.
Cool shit. Cool. So that'd be good if you had like an. Your face could be his. Could be.
Maybe I should next time. Your face could be here.
Don't tacky. No, I mean, how tacky you want to be, Tantus?
Probably not right now. I think I'm okay. All right. So we are amazing adventures of Crrrraw, WolfBurn, and Barter, and we are going to leave off. Come basically left off, leaving into today's adventure. This adventure, Ankheg Ranch. So last week everyone up. Everybody got on the deep water, and pretty much everyone that was important on the ship except the captain, Cloudbrow, died. For fault of the party, maybe a little bit at your fault, but no. He kind of was.
It wasn't my fault.
It wasn't fault.
Not as much mine either. A little of mine, but
You just
I think if it's a little bit little, that's kind of
Wyrm, you me down the path, Wyrm.
hi.
Yeah, you lowered your life, and then it just went downhill from there.
I mean, his quality of life twice.
Best me and know what happened.
You probably don't. You just know. You just died, unfortunately, along with like half the crew, and a couple and the majority random NPCs that were here are still alive. Congratulations on that. Managed to keep them alive. And important. You technically, at least half your people got in a business deal with a trader named Megaril Meg. He is a
What an unfortunate name for that gentleman.
He's also really shady.
Oh.
Yeah,
you would a name like that, right?
Yes.
As I was grilling him, he got less confident about investment that he wanted to make. And was still like,
And WolfBurn,
Because I rolled the 1 on my inside. I
yes,
think.
he's like, boof, money. So you have technically invested in him.
Oh yeah, no, I have.
Yep, and he survived. Anyway, so the ship's in relatively decent condition. And you began to travel from the Nameless Isle, where you did manage to finally get some water after you ran out of water, which was
That's a name.
The refuge. Yeah.
Just saying. No, the Nameless Isle is a name.
Sorry. Yeah. Nameless Isle's another one.
I'll stop being shitty and I'll just curl up in my blanket.
Blankets up. You will be called upon. So the unfortunate is it seems that the evil druid actually managed to capture alive. She seems to have sabotaged a lot of the maps and stuff. So you do have a problem when it comes to navigating.
How do you sabotage a map?
I mean, tear them up.
I guess you pour on it, right? Yeah.
Tear them up, rip them up.
I found question by thinking about it logically for a few seconds.
So Helena has pretty much made it difficult to navigate. Your captain is doing his best. A little bit of knowledge. Your captain is, as I said, Undim Cloudbrow.
Cloudbrow. Got it. I ain't got it. All right.
what? He can't use the stars? Is he not? Is he Moana?
Use the stars a little bit. It's a little not bad at it, but it's also like you guys
different from Wayfair.
Yeah, and you went off course in order to get here because pretty much the halfling got your crazy lore to push direction that you would technically were originally blaming him for coming here and all the bad thing. You were sure it was him because he suggested the island. When technically it was whoever it was going to suggest it, and she was just trying to like get someone to mention it. It's like she's manipulative. And she's in your hold, technically all like chained up. But I guess broken hands and broken jaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tim like did the whole RimWorld thing, and we're gonna break every part of their body. They're alive.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's more like a part of your body that relates to spell casting.
Yeah, which is every part of your body.
I guess she has her feet.
But she can't use them because they broke their legs. Oh no, you didn't. No, you. Okay,
No. I made sure she could walk to her noose.
Mm-hmm.
Just her fingers, hands, and mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And she seemed very angry, very upset with you.
Really? I think that line was very tainted. You ruined this little plan. You broke arms and hands and like their jaw, and they're a little bit upset.
Oh. Anyway, so you've been journeying in the correct direction for a few days now, meaning that you know where you're effectively going. You should be heading farther north. Yes? Barter?
No, I'm not north.
Oh, okay. Oh.
No, you're looking up.
Yeah.
North is up.
Well,
I think Barter is smarter than that. That's just me.
that depends.
Barter is like okay.
If you turn the map upside down, then south is up.
Oh, wow.
If I lay you down horizontally
Like a barbarian, right?
and aim you like a compass.
Okay. What are we doing? We're going up.
You're going north, hopefully to continue crossing this area and get back on track of back to the city.
Why are we even on a boat?
Because at the end of the first session, you were given like boat travel to wherever you wanted, and I guess it was the next major city.
Cool.
Where you've been trying to go is like the next major city, which is across
It's just like a long way.
across this like gigantic sort of bay. So it was like it's technically unfortunately with a couple weeks travel, and you were about halfway through when you found out you were at your water. So we have like 3 days of water, and we're anywhere.
Okay, we did water now though.
Well, now you've refilled your water and discovered that
I just didn't know why we were.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but ended the last stream being like, I'm getting the boat out of here. That was, I
you
was
actually
powered by at the time.
You actually did take the out of there.
Also, the only boat out of there.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was a huge fucking port city. Port city was not the only boat. I call bullshit on that.
that was the mayor would bond for free.
Oh yeah, I guess that's fine.
There we go.
All right, so it's been a few more days since then. Things have seemingly settled down. The crew is best with the lack of numbers. A few of the folks are continuing to help. Miss Patty, the lore, is in fact actually able to help out, and Holga, the kind of barbarian woman mercenary, is actually doing very well to pull down rigging and stuff like that when necessary. So using her as muscle. And of course, Megrel is not doing anything whatsoever to help out. He's claiming to help cook, but that the food has been very terrible, and mostly hardtack. That's sort of wet.
And sadly, that character generator did not give me prestidigitation. Wow. Why can't I say that word right now?
Sadly. Alright, so it's the evening of the third day out since you left the Waveless Isle, or the Waveless Refuge, and you see, you hear from upstairs, Lair! From someone up from Crow's Nest.
Finally.
The captain will have to come out because there's the captain's probably been on deck more than he wants to be because there is no living first mate, and he probably has some guy that he's one of like the random sailors he's been training to be first mate.
Probably you
He's
have to have a
obviously
first mate.
obviously the guy is for this job, but he seems to be like continually pushed into it kind of thing. So, I guess all deck to see it out, and the captain's kind of looking out there. It's taking him a couple minutes. It looks like he's like looking in some like books that he had that are maybe like some old notebooks and journals to see like things he wrote down without maps and stuff, you know. We appear to be approaching. I believe that is the Iron Island. Strange. Have we traveled farther west than I wanted to go? I believe that's what this is. Well, maybe we can get a few more supplies and maybe some maps here. I believe it's relatively uninhabited, except for maybe a few sailors. But
Why would it be called the Iron Islands if it's uninhabited? Surely there are people mining iron.
relatively. I don't know why it's called the Iron Islands, actually. I just know that occasional fishermen and sailors take up residence on the shores as of last time I passed through this area.
I'm willing to bet iron miners.
Well, there were rumors of more dangers deep on the island. Some say in the center of the jungle there's tribes of goblins, but I've never heard of any actually showing up, so... Either,
I mean, Barter's just like, why would you call it the Iron Islands if it's not got iron there? And he's not saying this anymore because he's...
Yes, it's fine.
He doesn't want to piss off a captain, but...
Okay,
Sometimes
is
names
thinking the
fall on the
exact
more
same
ironic
thing.
side.
yes.
I mean, it could be an Iceland-Greenland kind of thing, right?
It could be an
the
Iceland-Greenland
color
kind
of the
of thing.
island. It could be any number of reasons, but...
It could be any number.
I just remembered that Barter has lower intelligence than the average person, so
Yes.
that's
so
important to know.
The boat will probably still be quite a ways away from the island, and it'll be getting closer to morning when you're finally coming in towards what looks to be actually a set of docks. It's like one large, long dock and a smaller one next to it, maybe for like small fishing boats, which the captain's actually a little perplexed because he will mention like, I don't remember there being docks here before.
When was the last time you were here, Captain?
I went by this island about 2 decades ago.
That's a long time. A long time for someone to build a dock made of wood.
It is possible something of value is found here.
Maybe even iron.
Maybe iron. Did we say that at the same time? Like, iron?
So you all kind of park the ship, kind of dock
Park the
it.
ship.
There seems to be no one nearby.
Okay.
There
can
are
I,
a couple of...
actually do a little wander to like try and...
the captain's gonna go, look, the rest of you helped us out last time. He's really more turning towards Crrrraw and WolfBurn, but I guess you're with them too, because he doesn't, we'll assume you did something epic too that he might not remember.
They were fighting off on an island or whatever. I was helping save the ship, but I
You
was
were,
overwhelmed.
but he was under mind control very quickly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't remember what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he'll sort of like kind of turn to all of you as like all of you were instrumental in saving the ship before. Perhaps you could see if anybody's around while we secure the ship.
I just like jump off the side of the ship onto the dock.
Surprisingly, Megrel will actually come with you. He'll be like, gentlemen, allow me to come along.
Who's this?
He's a
No,
trader.
that's Barter saying that.
Yeah. Oh, I believe we haven't been formally introduced. My good man, Megrel Meg, trader and merchant extraordinaire. I was introduced by my new partners here. I believe you're friends to some interesting fruit, a pomegranate, to perhaps sell with part of our...
You don't want to raise the dead, do you?
Crrrraw hops down and puts a wing in between him and Barter and just like shuffles Barter away. Like, I'm not getting another person
to give
into
money
this
to
shit.
this. So he'll be following behind you. The docks are going to lead up to this kind of winding wooden stairs that seems to lead up kind of this kind of like shore cliff area up to up a little deeper into the island.
So like there's like a dock coming off a cliff, and then like at the top of the cliff we'll find what we want to find.
Yeah. You see this massive sign, and in the top of the sign says Ironmore's Ankheg Ranch.
Do we know what Ankegs are? Should we do knowledge roll or something?
Nature, sure. I guess they're kind of naturey, close enough. I don't know.
Nature makes sense, yeah. It's an animal. It's a nature roll.
Is there a way for me to figure out who Ironmore might be, if I've heard of him?
Sure, local.
Well, you mean history?
Oh, that's right, history. I'm sorry. I forgot that's what became. Yes, history. Okay. Tiv, you know what an Ankheg is. It's a kind of large horse-sized insect. They're usually very dangerous. Known for being able to, like, melt their prey with a stream of acid once, like, a day. I don't think they can do it more often. I have to remember. I haven't checked the
tasty?
That's my con,
maybe? You're not sure? You've never eaten one? So...
Of course I haven't, but it's within my curiosity.
Yeah, it's like, are they tasty? Why would someone ranch them?
Looks like we found civilization, boys. You are a boy, right, Crrrraw? I honestly have no way of knowing.
Yes, I am of the male gender.
Oh, excellent. Not that I'd mind.
I think this came up during our first mission.
Excuse me. I'm just really curious.
No, the first mission he had trouble finding out my name. Then this time it is apparently my gender.
All right. There seems to be a really nice kind of dirt walkway across like
nice
some kind
dirt
of
walkway.
Yeah, like with like little like kind of like lower kind of like I would call it maintained grass.
Okay.
You know, like a little
So
small
like a lawn.
like a lawn, you know. Probably like someone's got a push mower somewhere, you know, kind of thing.
You push mower to have a lawn. You could have the Ankegs graze it.
That's true. You could have the Ankheg.
You know, a lot of people, when they have like big natural spaces, they have like herds of sheep, and they just like the sheep is in
So
this quadrant, and then this quadrant, this quadrant, and this quadrant. That's not dope. That's real, man.
Yes, and we got maybe
it's
giant
actually a real service.
omnivorous
service
insects
that
to do
you
it.
can pay, where you can pay people to have a
you
goat
just have
come
to-
and like mow your lawn for you.
I like that.
By the way, I do tell Barter what the Ankegs are, and the entire time we're walking, I'm just like kind of keeping a separation between Megrel. Like he can hang out with Wyrm's character, but
Yeah.
I'm not letting him.
So it's
Hey,
like
Barter.
us in the front and them in the back.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
pretty much.
why would anyone ranch acid-spitting creatures unless they are intending to use them for a force of evil?
Well, they might not be able to melt all things. They could perhaps melt things off of other things, getting a more pure substance.
Like iron.
Perhaps there are some
Perhaps.
interesting reagents to be harvested from the creatures.
True.
He
Oh,
just yells from back there.
Yeah.
The path will kind of wind for a little while, maybe like about 1,000 feet, and lead to this kind of quaint house.
I go up and knock, but
What did my history check?
Your history was like, you think you've heard the name before, you're sure, it sounds like a prominent name of a family, you're pretty sure it's pretty important, but you don't know a lot about them.
Can I determine if it might be dwarven? What?
You think it's human.
Human. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, I want to knock.
Okay.
Loud.
You'll see like the door kind of swing open very rapidly, and it's like, I wasn't expecting the latest shipment and pickup for 5 days. Oh.
No, not a shipment. We're travelers, sir. Hello.
You'll see like a elder kind of white-bearded half-elf actually. He's kind of got like a very short maintained white beard, kind of like spiky white hair. He kind of like is like startled by your like when you say that. He's like, "Oh, visitors! Oh, welcome to the ranch." He kind of like throws out a hand, you know.
Oh, he'll shake it.
He shakes it with much gusto and force. You come here to buy some.
I shake it with more force.
Oh, you do? You've got some excellent force there, and you're shaking. You here to buy some material or
What are you selling?
Oh, plenty. Let's see here.
I saw that it was there. I hadn't gotten a chance to take a look at it yet, though.
We have. I have loads of chitin, some fresh meat. It's very tasty stuff. Let me tell you, we do dry it out here just so for transport. Acid and for all your alchemical and reagent needs, and there's a couple other materials similar to that are taken from deep within its gullets. Let me tell you, they make something that's almost as good as that stuff they get from whales for perfume.
Ambergris.
That's it.
Yes.
It's
I know
almost
a thing or
as
two
good.
about whales.
Almost as good. Works pretty well.
That's very interesting. We were wondering why someone would harvest these creatures, but you have enlightened me today, sir.
Of course. The people scoff at the humble Ankheg. I know, yes, it does tend to eat herd animals and, can be a plague with its burrowing, but the right area and the right work with it can work.
Can be maintained in hand. That makes sense.
Exactly.
I imagine our captain may be interested in ordering some meat, some jerky for the continuation of our travels. In truth, I have no real idea where we're intending, but we do have some days continued on the sea, I assume.
Oh, excellent.
I assume.
As you'll see, kind of Megara will kind of like slide up next to you and be like, "So, what kind of business dealings do you have with these creatures and
The
selling
wing
them?"
is slowly rising.
I lower your wing and go, please let him continue.
Gentlemen, if you aren't having any more business, perhaps we could sit down and get some business done with. I mean, I am.
Well, this makes a lot of sense. He's a merchant, you're a farmer. This is a match made in heaven.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go ask the captain if he wants
What
to
is
buy
your
some
current market?
Ankheg.
I ask the Ankheg farmer.
Up to the north, the big city, Terran. I usually trade with there. There's a lot of traffic that goes in there that, especially Machitin, definitely folks will buy things there.
What
I
does
say,
the
he trades. I turn to the merchant and I'm like, he trades to the south. Perhaps you should try, or trades to the north. Perhaps you should try trade to the south. That might be profitable area.
Well, if we're looking for a trade deal and you gentlemen are interested in it, maybe there's something you can help me out with. Now look,
I'm encouraging the other guy to make trade deals.
I really apologize, but I haven't been able to find out what's going on. And I'm at a loss, and I'm only one man currently.
Wait. You run a farm of monster ants, and you do it on your own.
Yes.
Well, that's impressive. You look like you could get eaten by one of these things at any moment. So,
yeah, people say that all the time. But I know all their names.
Quite the animal handler.
I got about...
So what is this nebulous problem you have, sir?
Look, a couple of my Ankhegs have gone missing. And they shouldn't be. I've had about, let's say 24 currently in the growth area, and a good number of eggs. And the eggs are fine. But I had about 2.5 about 6 months ago. And over the past couple of months, they've been disappearing. And now, you may say, okay, they're a burrowing creature. They could burrow out. Now, this shouldn't happen because the ground that we set them in is actually the little kind of like mountain bowl, almost you could call it. It's a rock all around the bottom with a bunch of dirt on top for them to dig into. We were smart about it. And the walls are too high, and we don't see any acid damage, so I mean,
creatures adapt. But I suppose, while you're dealing with business, why not stretch our legs and have a look for your missing pack creatures. Wouldn't it be the good neighborly thing to do, my friends?
Well, we do need supplies. Perhaps there can be an exchange of services.
Yeah, I guess if they're masked.
All but willing to trade you all the meat you need for that.
Megrel, you talk with him, and the captain, you deal with all that. We can take a walk now.
Wait. Before you go down to the ranch, there's something I should give you. Here. He says, oh, I got a couple of them. He gives you, like, 3 rocks. Each one hold one of these.
He takes it as if he's taking, like, a religious thing, and is like, huh.
I take it
Just-
and examine it.
It smells really foul.
Is this how you prevent them from eating you?
It makes you smell a lot like one of them.
Ah.
They don't tend to eat each other unless they really get old and kind of really injured. Usually we call them before that kind of thing happens, so we don't usually have to worry about that. But as long as you don't look like you're about to fall over dead, you should be fine.
Very well. I will do my best not to be injured.
Well, hopefully we won't get injured trying to find a few escaped domesticated animals, WolfBurn. This will just be a lovely, relaxing jaunt on an island. Catch some sun. Being in the bottom of a boat for an indeterminate amount of time. I have no rightly idea, so this will be lovely.
Indeed.
Well, let's get going, friends.
Good luck, gentlemen. We'll talk shop.
Yeah.
Man, this smells like shit.
WolfBurn, your investment already paying off.
What does he mean by the word investment? Like, as we're leaving?
I invested money into his business.
Oh. Well, that seems like a sensible thing to do.
Yes, hopefully he
No.
spends it wisely.
It was not.
Okay, it's only a pretty, like, it's not very a super far walk leading over to this kind of large stone wall with a kind of raised stone set of doorways. They're about 3 feet off where the dirt level would be. It looks like the wall and below where the door is just extends underground as far as you know.
I would like to open the door.
Okay. There is like a hatch on the outside, so you can lift it up,
Okay.
kind of move inside. And it's a large open field, occasional bushes here and there, and then you just see a large number of gigantic holes.
I make sure to close the gate behind us.
Is Joe there?
No, Joe's not here. Okay, adorable niece, goodbye. Thank you for stopping by.
Bye, child.
I want to just take like a general perception check of the.
Sure.
We're in the bowl, right? So maybe
Yes.
let's just do like a quickie. Hey, 16 is my number.
All right. You notice that there seems to be some kind of, you're not sure what it is, but you can hear like activity from a couple of the holes. You do see
Maybe
what
it's Ankhegs.
probably is
But then I don't
Ankheg.
know what an Ankheg sounds like. So.
No.
Yeah.
And these are like really large holes too. Like you guys could easily fit into them, kind of thing.
Oh, that's good to know.
You also see that there does seem to be traps of like you're not sure what that have kind of been spread out, and kind of littered around some of the holes. You see probably the remains of like bones of other domesticated animals that most likely is being raised somewhere else nearby and being fed to them.
And I'm gonna take a moment to ritually cast Detect Magic.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be a general magic right now where you're kind of looking.
Okay.
Okay. So where do you folks want to head to? There's a couple of holes nearby. One of
Well,
them has.
I would like to just like sort of generally investigate
Okay.
like all of them.
Actually, I'm also going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right.
Oh, why are you being like that, WolfBurn? Not every place we have to go is filled with danger. This is merely a
unseen
farm.
burrowing creatures that could snap up at a moment's notice.
I'd say leaning over the hole.
You'll see this kind of like large bug creature kind of pop out and kind of like with its kind of antennas kind of snap at you, kind of like look around, like kind of like turn its head to the side, make some kind of like clicking noise. So it's like inches from your face, and it kind of goes back down.
Well, that was.
A thing.
I'm sure that I can understand why. I mean, a little lightheaded after that. Like, just sort of stand up, just be like, because they're gross looking, right? Especially close up.
They're kind of gross looking. Yes.
He's like actually spooked.
After like a little while, you'll see kind of one kind of wander out of the
Take out a
ground.
notebook and start writing stuff down.
Kind of like wander over to where the trough is, like pick up what looks to be maybe like the leg of a goat or something, start like chewing on a little bit, and then kind of carry it back to its hole.
Well, I mean, they're doing what they're meant to be doing. If there was evidence of foul play, if they were getting out, it'd be more obvious. If someone was stealing it,
How big of an
would
area
see
is this?
inside?
You're guessing it's maybe like, we'll say half a square mile.
Half a square mile.
So pretty big area.
Like, I have no idea how much that is.
Like 2,500 feet each direction.
Unmeasurably huge. Okay.
Yes, it's very large area, but it's a very like open area. There isn't like a lot of plants here. There are mostly small bushes and stuff. No, it seems like a couple of trees here and there, but most of them seem to have a little bit of damage to them, probably from giant insects.
Okay, so.
Well, I'm gonna
huge area.
examine.
Then.
Yes.
I'm gonna examine.
It seems
what
like
I
they
can.
are relatively spread out, and it seems like he has. You'd guess he must have a very small supply right now. You're guesstimating from the area, and from the size of them. If they have a reasonably sized burrow, maybe he could have about like 100 in here.
Yeah, territorial then.
Probably a little bit. You're guessing. I mean,
Go into the holes.
It seems like they all have their own holes. And the one that kind of like looked at you, it didn't necessarily like friendly at you, but you're getting this giant insect, so it's kind of hard to tell.
How would we possibly know?
It
We're
didn't.
not druids. Okay. Yeah, Barter's just like, we're not going to find evidence of foul play from the inside, I assume.
Well, we could walk the perimeter and see if there might be anything of note.
Or
That'll probably take all day, though.
fly the perimeter faster. I don't want to just, put that burden on you. It's easier.
I'm fine with flying the perimeter. Just don't send me in the hole.
No, I don't think any of us are getting in those holes.
One of you should, but not
No,
one.
I don't think any of us.
One of the ones where they are not inhabiting anymore. One of the ones that went missing.
How would we
That hasn't been
determine
traveled.
that?
I'm sure we could work that out while he's flying around. We're two
Sure.
smart intellectual fellows.
Look at the tracks.
Yeah, we'll be able to see if... So, we'll send old Crrrraw flying up, and I want to go looking for one that's not...
Okay.
lived in.
Okay. Give me, I guess, survival?
Okay, I'll accept that. That's reasonable, right?
Yeah,
No.
I'm gonna. Woot!
Hey!
Perception for me, right?
Yeah, perception for you. Okay.
Hey.
So I'll review you last crawl as they kind of find the hole. Barter, you find one that you're pretty sure is empty before WolfBurn like stops you and is like, no. It looks like a fresh bones over there nearby it.
I very quickly just defer to WolfBurn.
Yes.
Right. More?
He will find one that looks like it hasn't been used in a while. You're not sure exactly how long, but it does look relatively uninhabited. It seems to Barter, you would have dark vision, right?
I do have dark vision, yes.
So you can see it goes down about like 15, 20 feet, and then kind of splits off into two directions as a tunnel. It seems to be like this is like almost at a curve of a tunnel.
Yeah.
Well, If you wish, I will go down. You seemed not very... You seemed
I
reluctant.
suppose if we're going down, we should both go down. Or maybe one of us waits outside.
I was thinking you wait outside holding a rope.
I was going to hold my bow, but that makes more sense. I'll hold a rope. Do you have a rope?
I have a rope.
Sure, I'll hold your rope. WolfBurn, I'll hold your rope for you while you go in there.
Yes.
I don't know
so...
what you're getting at, dude.
Well, it's more like it's a giant hole, so I don't want to, like...
I just thought of something that could really screw you guys, but I can't tell you because I'm not there.
Yeah, I bet. Anyway, I'm gonna tie the rope around my waist.
Okay.
And climb down.
Do you have dark vision?
I do not, but I have a light cantrip.
Okay. So you're gonna sort of like head down in there,
Just cast it on my staff.
cast the light. Alright. You'll notice that there is a smell down here. Maybe not a very strong one, but a little bit of the same one you got from that stone you've been carrying around.
Yeah.
You can see some litter down here of like some old bones that seem to be kind of cracked up and broken apart. Probably trampled and eaten. Maybe some material that's kind of leading the bottom that you're thinking might be like old shedded shells of whatever insect we're living in here.
Ankheg.
Yeah, swan, yes. One of the tunnels...
Grab a couple samples.
Yeah, one of the tunnels seems to go almost parallel to the ground. The other one seems to go down a little.
I'm going to go down.
Alright. It goes down, winding for a short while, maybe about 30, 40 feet, before it enters into a large chamber. Here seems to be what you can almost describe as refuse.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like old chunks of shells, bone pieces, all kinds of crazy things down here. Piles and piles of it. A little few pieces of wood, things like that. A couple small rocks.
My character will take a couple notes on their living quarters and then continue looking around for a possible clue as to what might have happened.
Okay. I mean,
Using detect magic.
You don't detect anything magical in here.
Okay. Also, standard investigation then, I guess? Or perception?
Your choice on that one, I'll give you.
Investigation.
Alright.
Oh!
Alright.
Not 20.
You are looking carefully through everything in here, and it takes you a little while, but in amongst some of the piles of the bones, one sticks out from you. And you're pretty sure it isn't an animal bone, but you're not sure what it is.
I will take it and head out.
Okay.
Well, I'll just search a little bit more to see if I can find any more possible parts of the bone.
It looks like if there was anything else, it was really fragmented.
Okay, then I'm just going to take a sample of this and head out.
This area isn't necessarily like cut off from weather completely. It's slightly underground, you know, and it looks like things weren't faring well to begin with anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, all right, you'll bring up a strange-looking bone.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like maybe it's part of maybe like a shoulder to something.
Ooh. Do I have any way of knowing what that is?
Maybe when
nature.
you see it.
Well, he said he's bringing it up?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm bringing it up. I'm going to examine it when I get out of the hole. I don't want to just, like, sit there, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it is still like in the morning technically too. Like it's still before noon. So yeah, you still got plenty of light out when you get to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I want to do a nature roll then.
Sure.
Got a -1,
Oh, okay.
but I'm fucking amazing.
Roll me a medicine then too.
And I roll
Okay.
medicine as well.
All right.
Hey.
So Barter,
You might
you
as
take
well.
a careful look at it, and it takes you like a couple minutes. The both of you comparing some points, and you're pretty sure this is a goblin bone.
Huh.
You know, it's sort of like the shape of it's slightly different than what would be for like a halfling, but it's similar size. And it's shaped in a way that, you know, you can tell it's not a child's bone, you know, kind of thing. Just from some of, like, the edging and stuff on it, you're like, no, this isn't a child. It's sort of the size of one.
Goblins have, like, weird knobbly bones.
Yeah, slightly weird novels and stuff, you know.
Yeah, this is a goblin bone. I've fought a lot of goblins in my time, so...
Interesting.
They ate some goblin, I guess, assuming you found it in its, you know, dinner plate.
Yes, it was. It was in its refuse pile.
Lovely. Which means goblins are getting in. Or they're getting
also
out.
means there's
Goblins are probably getting in.
Around, and goblins tend to cause mischief.
That is a very polite way of saying that, WolfBurn.
Crrrraw.
What was Crrrraw doing?
In the meantime, most of the wall looks pretty much all the same. You will eventually find something that you actually wouldn't have seen unless you would have been flying above it or on the top of the wall. It appears that some kind of system of ladders have been sort of like stored up at the top that you can sort of like maybe use like a little hook or something to pull down onto either to like one side, almost to hide them from someone walking the perimeter. It looks like you could throw it down to like either side.
So convenient you have someone that flies.
I know.
I'm
It's
gonna.
like some divine being planned this.
I know. It looks like kind of made out of like some loosely formed sticks and vines, so it's like a kind of rope ladder.
So gobbo work.
Maybe from that kind of more jungly
I
area of
imagine
the
when you
island.
come
We'll
back and we're
compare
like,
notes.
there's goblins, you'll be like, oh.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else?
You won't necessarily find anything in particular. I mean, you'll find definitely areas where you can tell there's been a lot more activity with the Ankhegs, like if they've been on the surface. But you're not sure what that means. It might mean that either they're getting in a fight with each other for some reason, maybe certain activities, you're not sure of their life cycle, you know, if it would be on the surface or underground. Or if you're assuming someone got in, it might have been them doing something too. It's really hard to tell just from up above.
On the outside of where the ladders were, are there any, like, tracks leading out?
It's kind of a little rocky area, where it's like maybe like 10, 20 feet of rock leading to some trees. So it's very shaded in that area. The trees, I mean, if you were a really, really great jumper, like insanely great jumper, you might be able to like leap from it, but the doubt you'd probably be able to do it.
Oh, no, I want to be with you.
I know, Aurora. Good girl. Ah.
Get out of there. He doesn't want any go-go applesauce. Go. Get out of here.
So, Crrrraw, you coming back for me while DM has to, you know, like, do some stuff?
Giggles.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be flying back
Giggles.
after I
I'm sorry. I'm
find
sorry.
that.
I will say quite loudly, while you're, like, landing, which I imagine is the whole thing. I was like, Crrrraw, we found goblin. Like, a dead one.
A bone.
Yeah.
That
I think
is
these
not
things
normally
eat
on the
them.
menu.
A lot of
No.
things eat goblins.
Well, yes.
But nothing that I'd like to meet.
Well, I was more of saying the farmer probably does
Well,
not feed
except dwarves.
them goblins.
It would be strange if the farmer was feeding them goblins. You're
Very.
right. They
He's not
must
dwarf.
be whatever's
He's not
getting
dwarf.
in.
What is your fascination with dwarves eating goblins?
They do, occasionally. Some cultures.
I don't know if it's racist to say that.
I-
Like,
Right,
I
folks.
barely know my own people.
What do you want to do now? You found evidence of goblin possibly getting in.
imagine we go outside that part and try to go that way, right? Like, find more evidence of goblins. Goblins leave evidence. You know, they'll be leaving like a trail of mess or something.
They're
It
not
seems-
very clean usually.
It does seem to lead into sort of like a foresty area pretty quickly. Unfortunately, it's a foresty area, so it's kind of hard to find like mess in particular. You can give me a survival if you want.
Yeah, I think like go in. We all do a survival in the forest. We might
Yeah.
find something.
It seems particularly difficult, though.
16's
Yeah,
Ollie's number, 15's my number.
Okay, I mean, with your 15, you can see some evidence, like, close to here that seems like things pass along the way, but the trail itself seems very hard to follow. It seems like, whatever this is small and low to the ground, much smaller than you, and is taking advantage of that when it comes to the underbrush.
Much
Like-
smaller than me.
Yes, like, you try to follow it for a while, and then, like, you end up in a pricker bush that, like, there was, like, sort of a small kind of, like, almost cut through in the middle, and, like, you guys are just like, oh, pricker bush.
What's a pricker bush?
Like a thorn bush.
Okay. Weird. Okay. I do not
assume.
want to be there. Yeah. But then if WolfBurn tells us that, it'd be like, well, you know, many things are smaller than you. Could be goblins.
Very accurate.
Yes. Well, goblins are sufficient at hiding, and
Maybe we draw them out.
perhaps we could wait for them to come back.
He
Did
said
he
that.
say how often this happens?
He did say
About
over the past
6.
6 months, about 6 have disappeared.
This is not
We
very-
can't. That's too long to wait.
Well, we could. We probably just shouldn't. We do have a boat.
Yes, as much as I want to help this man, I don't really intend on waiting for a month.
Crrrraw hunches down and starts like crawling through the bush because he weighs like 40 to 60 pounds ish.
He's hollow.
Alright, okay,
Oh, what a genius idea, my feathered friend.
No one else is going to fucking do it.
I'll stay out here, a safe place, just like I did last.
okay. You're gonna, dive into the trail and start following
No,
that.
no.
The trail seems to go on, and, I mean, you could go on for about, maybe about an hour of following this trail, and that will begin to, like, widen a little bit, as you are heading into, from a little more, like, mountainous kind of forests, like, almost down into more of a valley area, where it's getting a lot more tropical quite rapidly. You know, it kind of like, where you were up there, it's sort of like higher up on the thing, so you have a little bit more, you know, a little cooler. Now you're heading to, like, the center of the island, which is definitely a lot more tropical in this area. So, definitely the trail opens up, but then you notice kind of, like, a couple of trails, which you're not sure are creature trails or game trails at this point in time. You will see some obvious signs of some other kind of game, and you think maybe humanoids, like in some mud nearby, but you're not sure how recent that is.
So, were we unable to follow his progress?
I guess you could, sort of. You
Like,
kind of,
go like as close as we could.
you
but
could kind of
not,
like
the
bushwhack,
long way
like,
around.
you know, you kind of like bushwhack and kind of.
I
like
was
have-
thinking that. I
and
have
have-
2 swords.
Yeah,
It's
you're like dealing with a lot of like, you know, underbrush and stuff, and like getting hit by thorns occasionally.
I'm
like,
cutting things. He's like lifting things. This
Yes.
is all gonna work. We're just like going the long way round, right?
I'm-
Basically.
Or they're following like just directly behind me, following me by Marco Polo, pretty much.
Yes. So yeah, you'll find yourself in what looks to be.
I mean,
much more of...
I'm probably just Ray of Frost. Smack. Ray of Frost. Smack.
Marty's time. And me.
You've definitely found yourself on what appears to be a main thoroughfare of this actual entire jungle area.
It seems we found ourselves in the main thoroughfare of this. I don't know what you want from us, man. I feel a bit perception looking for. I mean, I guess looking for tracks, but again, you said there's not much, so
There's a couple of small humanoid tracks.
maybe I'll be
definitely.
able to see what, like where that leads.
You
or if he can discern which are which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty sure there's like a couple of sets of like humanoid tracks. You're not sure how many of them. They seem to be moving on this more central thoroughfare, maybe you could call it, where it's still kind of muddy. You're not sure where it, like...
Mud. Okay.
Yeah, they're tracking through mud, so you can easily, like, kind of... It doesn't require
When like,
a
the
lot.
mud dries, it's very obvious footprints. Okay, then we should go that way, and we should do so.
Okay. You'll track it for a while, and between the three of you, you'll somehow manage to track through this jungle. You're not sure how far you've wound into it.
I just realized something that I'm going to bring up. I'm going to say that to the group.
Okay.
I just realized something. I mean, we're looking for missing Ankhegs. They're quite big.
Like, Barter will just like completely stop and like put his swords away and turn around. Are we going
Well,
the
I'm just-
entirely wrong way?
No, I'm wondering if the goblins have anything to do with this at all. We'll see, though.
I mean, we might as. I mean, surely the farmer doesn't want goblins around too.
That's fair.
It's entirely possible they might be friendly goblins, but we'll see.
I haven't punched anything in a while. They won't even let me punch the prisoner. Let's just find
Hey.
goblins.
Oh, hey, I have goblin on my language list. That's useful.
You actually speak Goblin. That's wonderful. I planned in case no one did, but now I guess someone actually does. That's great. Okay.
I guess like I'll keep going, but a little bit of the adventure lust is
Yes.
gone. Now I
well,
realize it's probably
like,
not. Worth
As
it.
soon as you turn back to the group, you will see that now
That's
kind
gross.
of popping out of the jungle seems to be half a dozen small creatures dressed in kind of like loose robes and holding
Aren't they
spears at you.
goblins?
They appear to
I
be
don't
goblins.
like how when we like know what we're looking at, you're like small creatures. It's like
Okay,
we've been
fine.
tracking goblins. You told us
Goblins.
they're goblins.
Goblins.
Why the mystery, man?
They're jungle goblins. Are you happy?
Cool.
He likes to deal with a lot of mites and maybes.
Mites and
I
Like,
maybes.
you
know.
get-
I've noticed this.
Yeah, you got a 24, and he's like, there might be a few humanoid tracks this way.
Thought is a Hercules has tracked that himself, right? Like footprints. No, yeah, okay.
Like, Artemis is with us, telling us where to go, and these goblins are sneaky fuckers.
Okay, so
I will turn to the goblins and say in Goblin, "Hello there, friends."
They'll go from like angry looks and then they'll all kind of be shocked for a second, and then like one of them will go, "Why does big dumb things speak language? I don't know. Why would speak language? You speak language? Yes, I speak language. Big dumb thing. Why are you in jungle?"
We are looking into the problem of the missing Ankegs.
What?
The big insect.
You wait there, big dumb guy. They kind of huddle up, actually. They actually huddle up, you know?
well, you seem to be having a lovely conversation. It's very convenient that you know Goblin Wolf.
I know, it's really convenient.
Yes, I
How does one learn Goblin? I imagine you don't do that in schools.
Like, occasionally, like, one will, like, look its head out at you and sneer, and they'll continue to, like, whisper to each other about something.
well, you see.
What kind of weapons do they have?
It looks like spears and slings.
Okay, cool.
People yell at you enough in their language, and you start to understand what they say. It's how I know Dwarvish. Those guys yell at you a lot.
Yes, I mean, there were goblins around where the tribe I grew up in.
You there, big dumb one. You not try kill us right way. So you nice big dumb one. You come with us, Bloodthorn Village. We take
Okay.
you to Gorath Kin, leader of Bloodthorns.
Hopefully, we can come to a understanding about what is.
He probably
going
not
on
have
here.
us kill and eat you.
Probably is a good enough.
Are we coming too? I
I tried to
didn't
do-
say
You
we
see
were
them,
going.
like, you
too.
see, like, one of them start, like, doing, like, this as they start turning and, like, walking down the trail.
Well, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to follow them back to their village.
I'm gonna follow, like, from the treetops because I don't trust these fuckers. I want distance in between us, and I want to know how to get home.
Okay, that sounds
I'm just
good.
not threatened. I'm just like, I could probably punt one over the mountain if I really wanted to.
And I'm in the middle. I'm just right.
So why don't we take our first break, though, as we're heading towards the Goblin Village. It's already almost 8 o'clock, so this will probably be a good point in time to take a 5-minute break, get some drinks, go to the bathroom, and we can be back as they arrive at the Goblin Village. So, everybody, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we'll see you then.
Bye.